All right, there we go. Yo, that's so weird. Because sometimes that happens and it'll say that it's muted in the settings, but it wasn't muted. I'm like, wait a minute, it shouldn't be muted. And then I muted it and then I unmuted it and it started working. All right. Oh man, for a second there, I thought YouTube was getting back onto its shenanigans like the other day. All right. Hopefully we get we get a bit of a crowd tonight. Yo, so first off, I just want to say congratulations to Team USA. If you guys don't know, I am a big hockey fan. Like that's always been my sport. I feel like it is the sport with out of all the professional sports, I think hockey has the most integrity for a couple of reasons, which I'm not even going to get into. But with that said, it is really hard for me to like celebrate these things. It just all feels like bread and circus right now. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, and it really doesn't help when, now with everything going on with the files, like I feel like people are starting to like wake up and pay more attention to like different symbolisms, if you know what I mean. And the Olympics the last few years, well, it's had some symbolism. There are certain things, especially in these opening ceremonies, that lead a lot of people to believe that there might be some evil entities behind it. So I don't know. It's just hard. You obviously you don't want to take anything away from the players. You don't want to take anything away from the country. But with everything going on right now, I think what really did it for me and what really made it difficult for me was when I saw Kash Patel in the locker room with the Team USA shirt celebrating, or a USA shirt, sitting there pounding away a beer and celebrating. It just felt really, really inappropriate, and I think it took away from the team. I feel like it was a cheap PR stunt to maybe try to get him back some kind of like credibility, make him relatable, give him something. Everybody's celebrating Team USA, so Kash is celebrating with us. But it just like, to me, it was just like, what the hell are you doing here? Get back to work. Arrest somebody. You know what I mean? Like it's like what'd you do? You took a break from covering up the Charlie Kirk case and covering up for all the PDFs and took a break from where the foreign nation that you seem to be working for, gave you the day off so you can go drink with the homies in the locker room. It's like suck a dick, bro. And I'm sorry for the language. I'm gonna try not to do that. I wanna try to be more Christian like. But this stuff pisses me off, and I think it should piss everybody off. Because, what is really going on? And if you notice on the thumbnail, I have the picture of Kash Patel drinking the beer, and then what's next to it? That chair. I've been thinking a lot about that chair, and I'll pull it up in a minute. But, right now, let's face it. The world moves very, very fast, especially with social media. Every day there's another headline. Every day there's a story, especially now. It's like the world is moving so fast. And I feel like even that, a lot of that is manufactured because they try to train us to have these shorter attention spans so that we don't focus on certain things. And when I think about that chair that was on that island and its purpose and what they were doing with it, and what was happening to the people that were in that chair. And the fact that there has been no accountability. How many teeth do you think got removed from those children? You know what I mean? And Kash Patel can't even get that person behind bars? The person that was literally pulling the teeth out of kids? But we're supposed to relate to him and celebrate with him and be happy about Team USA winning Olympic gold. At what point does everybody realize that just the evil controlling our country and controlling our world? At what point does everybody realize that things have gotten so bad, and that if there's no accountability, all these heinous crimes that happen to children, why shouldn't we believe that it's still going on? What makes us think that it stopped? None of us, like, does anybody here, chat, let me know. Does anybody even think that J.E. is really gone? Or you see some of those pictures that I've seen online and you think he's living happily ever after? Or how about Ghislaine? How about Ghislaine? And I'm not even gonna get into that picture. You know, I saw the video. Somebody, we've all seen it. Somebody like is in Canada and says, "Oh, Ghislaine," and she turns her head, and it's like, "Oh, is that her? Is that her?" Like, listen, I'm sure there's a lot of girls that look like her. Like, you could get that profile. So I'm not even gonna sit there and try to yank on every thread that I see and try to like run with every conspiracy. But I'll tell you this much: the video of the person that we've seen that was allegedly testifying the other day, that does not look or sound like Ghislaine Maxwell. So there's reason to believe that the one person or the two people that they did arrest that were at the top of this hierarchy aren't even in jail, that they never even had any accountability. It's all a charade. It's all a charade. Republicans, Democrats, it's all WWE. It's all bullshit, guys. It's all bullshit. Wear the marks. They're putting on a show. They get you emotionally invested. It's like good versus evil based on your ideologies. If you're on the right, it's like, oh, the Republicans, we got to get them in office. The Democrats are going to ruin the country. If you're on the left, it's like, oh, the evil GOP. No, we need the Democrats. At the end of the day, they're all playing us. Both sides are covering this up. The other day, Pam Bondi, okay, she was under oath testifying for 5.5 hours, and there were some tough questions. There were some hot, some highlights in that where people are really hammering her on JE. But you mean to tell me that 5.5 hours, not a single one of them wanted to bring up Charlie Kirk and what's going on with that investigation? And I understand that it like wasn't the big topic of the day or whatever. It wasn't on the agenda. But you mean tell me 5.5 hours? You have both sides. You have everybody there. Okay, how many people in the world right now are online trashing Erica Kirk, trashing Turning Point USA? They're sending out cease and desist. They're getting caught in so many lies left and right with Erica's history and everything else. And you mean to tell me like they're all just going to ignore it? Like if the Democrats really wanted to win the midterms right now, okay, you don't even need JE. Like, all they got to do is bring up the Charlie Kirk case and say, hey, guys, Like, there's just so many reasons not to have any faith in our government whatsoever right now. So many reasons. And it's just like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, congratulations, Team USA. Like, are they even giving them real gold medals? You know what I mean? Like, what is it, 1% gold now? Like, Russia's still banned, but certain other nations aren't. Like, not for nothing, but the fact that Russia's not even in there, wasn't even in there, like, that kind of waters it down. That's like our greatest rival. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? It's like, I don't know if any of you guys watch wrestling, but it'd be like in the late 90s, early 2000s, having WrestleMania without, like you got Stone Cold and The Rock, and then one of them doesn't show. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we'll get somebody else in there. I don't know. The whole thing is just cheap. Everything. What does Candace say? It's all fake and gay. Is that the term? Like that's kind of how America feels right now. And I'm not saying this in like an offensive like way. Like if you've been following me, like I'm all about individual accountability. I don't care about politics. I don't left, right. Like I don't get involved in any of that crap anymore. Any of that. All right, so what's going on? How are we doing? How is everybody doing today? Coach Ian Barron, bring a Kate. Yeah, I've been saying this the whole time. Like, if that whole Tyler Robinson case was actually legitimate, if they were actually legitimate, why wouldn't Tyler Robinson's defense team be in touch with Candace, Barron, and Ian? And everybody else that's been bringing, like Blake Bednar's. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many people that have actually done real investigative journalist work. George Webb. And none of them are getting in touch. Nobody has any interest. Nobody has any interest in this Charlie Kirk case. You know, they just want they want to shove the Tyler Robinson narrative down our throats. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that there was a witness that was given the identity of somebody else in completely different clothing with a different length of hair. Doesn't matter. Hide the tapes. Hide the tapes. Kash Patel, like, that's what he's doing. He's going to the office. He's trying to get those 911 calls that describe somebody who's not Tyler Robinson and try to hide them. He's calling judges saying we need gag orders, doing everything like the dogs can't find the weapon, and then they find the weapon, all this stuff going on. And then, you know, after a long, hard day at work, he's going to go hang out with Team USA and go pound away a few beers. You know, what's on tomorrow's agenda, Kash? You know, it's like, what are we talking about? And now the new thing is they're gonna tell us about aliens. You know, that clip I'll play when Obama was you know, just nonchalantly talking. Actually, you know what? Let me find this right now. Let me find this right now. This one was good. This one was interesting. It's a little back and forth. I don't buy none of this crap anymore. I just don't. I think they're all full of shit. The whole world is a stage, and they're out to get us. Like, they're definitely out to get us. But let's see. Oh, nope. Where's the sound? Yo, what's going on? See, I caught it this time. Don't worry. Sorry. I don't know why that happened. Oh, my God. It would help if I wasn't so freaking...
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
You know, you gotta love the implication there. You have to love the implication.
There's no.
He's like, unless they hid it from the president of the United States. Okay, so that right there tells us that according to Barack Obama in 2026, that he doesn't think they're really hiding much from the president of the United States. Now, I think there might be some truth in that. I don't think the president has anywhere near as much power as we're led to believe, and that they're really making these decisions. But I do think that they have a good idea of what's going on. And I think that our good pal here, Barack Obama, had a pretty good idea about what was going on with J.E. and Ghislaine during his 8 years in office. And let's just put that out there. And remember, who was his Secretary of State? Oh, yeah, Hillary Clinton. You know, and it's crazy, too, because while Hillary Clinton was Obama's Secretary of State, okay, and the FBI was trying to put this case together, do you know they flew all the way to Australia to question Virginia Giuffre because she wanted nothing to do with any of this? Just think about that for a second. The FBI, I think it was 2010, flew to Australia to question Virginia Giuffre while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State under Barack Obama and had J.E. and Ghislaine Maxwell and affiliates connected. Like, that was like around the same time they went to Chelsea Clinton's wedding, allegedly, according to Doug Band in some of those emails that Hillary may or may not should have had on her server and with a phone that she may or may not have hit with a hammer. I don't know. It's very hard to keep up with all this. It's very hard to keep up with all the bullshit. But, like, what is going on behind the scenes in our government? You know? And that's why it's like the way that they talk to us, the way that they talk to the American people, it's like horrible parents, horrible abusive parents with drinking and drug problems that just like lie to their kids about freaking everything. You know? And it's like the kids know that the parents are all screwed up. They know the moms are drunk. They know the dad's doing blow and cheating on the mom or whatever's going on. And they just sit there and freaking lie to their faces until the point that the kids are just so screwed up and the relationship is completely deteriorated. And that is the relationship between the government, the United States government, and the American people. Except you know, instead of daddy going off drinking and banging some whore, you know, we have a foreign nation that's the mistress. That's basically what it is. And now, you know, mom and dad, they're both cheating. They both have somebody else that they're in love with, and they're favoring their stepkids. And it's just, fuck us. Does anybody else feel that way? Am I like going too far with these analogies? Because that's kind of how I feel. That's kind of how I feel. I'm on it. I like to think so. But let's hear, okay? So this is the left. Now let's see the right. Let's, you know, more WWE. It's like, oh, Obama talked about aliens. Let's see Trump's reaction.
Got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to.
Okay, you don't know they're real or not, then how is it classified information? It's one or the other. It's one or the other.
Be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, if the president can
You know what I don't believe? You know what I don't believe? I don't believe that President Trump is innocent. Now, I'm not saying that he's guilty of what everybody else thinks that he's guilty of, but I do not believe that there is an American president, me at 37 years old, I do not believe that there is a single American president in my lifetime that has not committed some form of treason against the people of the United States. I 1000% believe that. You cannot convince me otherwise. That's why. Obama, Trump, it's like the same shit. It's the same shit, guys. Stop falling for it. Stop falling for it. This left, what, right, it's like election season comes, and it's like, like I grew up on wrestling, so I use a lot of wrestling analogies. But once we get to election season, it's like midterms, it's like the Royal Rumble. And then you get to every 4 years, the president election, it's like WrestleMania. Okay, they're just trying to feed off of our energy. Feed off of our energy. And all these billionaires, all these scumbag lobbyists, they're the ones salivating. The elections are for them. They're sitting there trying to buy up all these politicians, get them in their pocket. They sit there, they get on TV, they get on these podiums, they just lie to our faces about everything that they're going to do. Because all these bills that they're going to pass are getting handed to them. They're not making any input. You think these people are actually voting? Like actually voting as individuals? Like this is the whole problem with the two political party system. It's the party. They're both hive minds. Like we're seeing it. And I feel like if you're on the right, you identified it when you saw that it was happening with the left. Especially with freaking Biden, who was like just fumbling around as the president. And it's like, well, who's running the country? And everyone's freaking out. It's like, who's running the country? All these executive orders. It's like, oh, the auto pen. And, Trump's so quick to call it out. But then Trump gets into office and who's running the country? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think it changed. I don't think there's really any difference. I think whoever was running the country during the Biden administration is probably running the country today. And I think that it's been like that for quite some time. I think that the last president that really, really, was just swinging it around, trying to get shit done, was JFK. And we saw how that went for him. It's like, I'm just done. I'm just done. So forgive me when, please forgive me when, everybody's celebrating. And I see this. And it's like, what are we celebrating for? Bread and circus. I was disgusted when everybody was talking about the Super Bowl because it was like right around the time that the files came out. And it's like, who cares about the Super Bowl? Like if there was ever a year to cancel the Super Bowl, it was this year. And then it's like all people are talking about, okay? Now, mind you, this had already been out. Where is it? You know, I'm sitting here listening to people. They're talking about the halftime show. It's like, oh, can you believe they're getting Bad Bunny? Can you believe Bad Bunny? The guy's not even American. Number one, he's from Puerto Rico, which is an American territory. The guy don't even speak English. How are they gonna have Bad Bunny? Like, it's like the biggest freaking deal in the world. Meanwhile, the files are out. We're finding out about what's happening to the kids in these chairs. 330 gallons of sulfuric acid, different presidents with allegations of consuming and eating things that should never be eaten. We're talking about acts and crimes that go way beyond girls that were a little on the young side, like freaking bimbo Megyn Kelly wanted to imply. Whatever. I'm not going to start dropping names, but. When they were saying, oh, he just liked them young. It's like, yeah, just liked them a little young. Like, how young are we talking? 6? 8? Why are they putting him in a dentist chair? Oh, I know why. You guys want to take a wild guess? I'm sure if I started getting into detail with my probabilities on that one, we'll lose the stream real quick. And they won't be able to use the copyright excuse this time. But seriously, Bad Bunny, that's what was upsetting you? And then, of course, think about it. You got the left, you got the Super Bowl, you got Jay-Z. They're going from one extreme, Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican guy who from time to time likes to dress as a woman, number one artist in the world, whatever. And then they give you the alternative. It's like, or if you don't want to watch that, you could turn into... Drum roll, please. Turning Point USA and Kid Rock in a performance that they recorded weeks early that still came out like crap. And listen, I've always been a Kid Rock fan. It pains me to say that because I am. I always loved Kid Rock, but like a little disappointed, bro. Like, anybody who's not speaking out about what's going on and what happened to these children is complicit. Okay? It is 2026. It is a new day. We are at that fork in the road. Like I said the other day, everybody in your life, whether it's in your personal life, your family, your friends, people on TV, they are telling you who they are, and you need to listen. You need to take them serious. They are telling you who they are, and sometimes they're telling you who they are by what they're not saying. And anybody with a platform right now that is not speaking out. I mean, think about it. I'm brand new to content creation. I don't even have triple digits. Like, think about it. We got 41 people. 41 people in this right now. Is it because of my talents? Do I suck that bad? Am I that bad on this microphone? Am I giving misinformation? Or are my opinions so controversial or offensive that YouTube doesn't want to push me out? I've never cracked 100 on a live stream. Mind you, this is my 4th one. They've ended my stream, but why is that? Maybe because I'm speaking the truth. I'm not expecting to have 30,000 people like Baron or 100,000 people like Candace. But I think that the algorithm could be giving me a little bit more of a nudge. And I have a feeling if I was going the other way and I was like, rah, rah, Team USA, Kash Patel's the man. Yeah, I love my new step-parents. That maybe I'd be getting a little bit more views. Maybe. That's just my hypothesis. But because I tell the truth, and I call out evil where I see it, and I stand by my words, and I bring the receipts, I get suppressed. And you can't convince me otherwise. And I'm telling you, I don't care if I have to scratch and claw for every single follower that I get. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, this isn't really working out. I mean, these streams, I'm only getting 30, 40 people. No, I'm going to freaking keep going. Like, they're literally going to have to kill me. And I love my life. I love my family. I love my friends. I don't use any substances. I don't drink alcohol. I barely leave the house. So you can bet your ass that if anything does happen to me, that I got kirked. That I got kirked. Or I got cappied. Remember Isaac Cappy, remember him? Trevor Moore, remember him? Everybody, thought it was all funny, thought they were so crazy. There's a whole cluster there too. Chester Bennington, Anthony Bourdain, whole lot of people that just seem to want to speak out about this stuff around a certain point in time and wanted to raise awareness. And, they all just decided that, they didn't want to live anymore. It's so weird. It's so weird. I really, I just want to say that I love my life, And I think some of them did too. I think that they appreciated life. I think they wanted life for other people to get better, and that's why they spoke about the things that they did. And I think that there are some other people that didn't want them to speak. But because they already had a platform and they were already known, they couldn't just shut down their streams from time to time, and they couldn't just suppress them. That something else had to be done. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. I'm trying to be careful. I don't think I've said anything that would justify it, though. I don't think I said anything that would justify a stream. That's why I'm even being careful with the clips and stuff that I play. But I will say this. No, I'm not cross streaming. I am only on YouTube. I do have another account ready. Oh, and that reminds me. You know what? Just in case. Yeah, they are the Hot Topic names. But you know what? They don't want us to say those names, and that's exactly why they need to be said. That is exactly why they need to be said. We cannot let those names ever get forgotten. Those names can never be forgotten. Just like Gary Webb and Danny Casolaro, Barry Jennings, Danny Jawenko, even some of the ones that are less noble, like Mark Middleton. We can't forget any of these names, guys. Can't forget them. I think it's very important. John O'Neill, the guy at the FBI that was saying forever, like, hey, something might be going on. And then they pushed him out of the FBI. And then what happened? What do you know? He's getting a referral, guys. Don't worry. They're going to give him a new job. What job they give him? They put him security at the World Trade Center in August of 2001. And he's not with us anymore because he was trying to save lives. This world is so screwed up. So screwed up. And, there are already so many people that aren't with us anymore because they were speaking up, because they were trying to call it out. And I don't mind being one of them. And it's a shame because I really do in my heart believe that a lot of the stuff that I talk about, a lot of the research that I've done, a lot of the work that I've done, that it's not really going to be seen or appreciated or even looked at unless something happens to me, But that kind of puts me kind of gives me a little leverage though too. You know what I mean? Like maybe they'll just suppress me and write me off like a crazy person and, just hope that I don't get a big following, because you can bet your ass there are enough people out there that I've given files to that, God forbid anything did happen to me, I would hope that there are people in my life that would care enough to nut up and get it out there. But who knows? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they'll just be so devastated that Bad Bunny did the Super Bowl that they won't even think about me when I'm gone. Maybe next year at the next Super Bowl, it'll just be somebody so much worse, Maybe it'll just take over. Like that seems to be the case, that people just care so much, Like somebody was telling me yesterday, like, Jimmy, like, why don't you just unplug? Like, forget about that other stuff. America won gold. It's like, yeah, that's what you think I should do. I should just forget about the hundreds of thousands of kids that have been abused in the worst types of ways because a hockey team won a little tournament and they gave them a medal that's not even really made of gold. Yeah. That's a good enough reason. Yeah, screw those kids. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And this is what I was talking about when I talk about cutting ties with people. It's not that I cut ties with people. It's not like, oh, screw them. I don't want to talk to them anymore or anything like that. It's like, no. It's like, but I am focused. I am focused. Okay? I am on a mission. I am not just on a mission. I am on a mission from God, and nothing is going to stop me. And if people aren't with it and they don't understand this and they're not contributing in some way, then I have no time for them. I have no time for them. It doesn't matter. Birthdays, Christmas, holidays, weddings. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, like, I'm not trying to act all noble and say that I'm trying to save the world, but I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to make a difference. Because somebody has to. We all have to. And if enough of us give a shit, can you imagine if the majority of people out there had my attitude right now? Do you think this shit would still be going on? Seriously, think about it. Think about it. If there were as many people that were upset about the things that I'm upset about, that were upset about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl, do you think that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi would still have jobs? It's a simple question. Yeah, look at the hockey win. You know, it's like, this is why I say every single one of us has an obligation. We all have the ability to do something. We could all make some sort of change, even if it's something small, you know? And mind you, I get on here, I get on these big angry rants, I say all this stuff. Do you ever hear me trying to, like, do you ever hear any hate speech? Do you ever see me blaming any groups? You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not about that. It's not about that. Individual accountabilities. And there are a lot of individuals that are trying to hide behind another group to keep doing what they're doing. And it is wrong. It is wrong. No, they'll never give the jobs to people that'll make a difference. But that's why we need to realize that these elections don't matter. They don't matter. It's not how we're going to do it. We have to find another way. We have to find another way. Because if these elections mattered, this would have been the one. You know what I mean? Like, this would have been the one. All the promises that were made. World peace. And we're going to end this conflict, end that conflict. We're going to release all the files. We're going to drain the swamp. There's going to be accountability. And little did we know that they were stacking the deck, putting the people in power that were the same ones that needed to go down. And some of us saw this coming, but most of us didn't, or not to the extent. You know what I mean? Like, what this administration, this administration destroyed America. They did. Like, this is the one of all the things that have, and I can't believe it because I was always afraid it was going to be Hillary. That was why I was so passionate and became such a big Trump supporter back in 2016. Because I had already identified a lot of the stuff with the Clintons. And I'm like, they cannot get in office. If they get in office, it's over. And silly me, I didn't know better. I didn't realize that it didn't make a difference back then. It just took us all a long time to catch up and to really, really see it. I think that, you know, that certain event in 2020, not the election, but, you know, when we were all cozy in our house for a little while, I think that not only was that, you know, a form of conditioning on us, but that it was a big distraction. And it muddied the water a lot in terms of the scope with politics. It was a major event. And I think that if that didn't happen, I think we would have identified this a lot sooner. And, you notice that happened right after who didn't do what to himself. I didn't really realize that at the time. I thought that it happened because, right around then there were these huge protests going on in Hong Kong. So it made sense when they're like China, China, China. It's like, okay, well, maybe that's why they, maybe. But now I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. And then when you see what's in the files and the simulations with the King's Merchant, and I'm not going to say any names. If you watched my other live, you know who I'm talking about. But I don't think we ever should have been looking at China. Just my opinion. But yeah, this world, man, this is just crazy. It's just crazy. And fuck the Super Bowl, fuck the Olympics, fuck the circus, and fuck Kash Patel. For real. All these guys. Bongino, Bondi, they're all frauds. They're all frauds. How is there no arrests? Not one. Not one. Oh, did I X out of it? Damn, I was going to pull up the chair again. But it's a disgrace. But let's watch something. I didn't watch this clip yet. I was looking for one clip. Yo, you know who I've been watching a lot lately? This guy is so freaking funny. Tim Dillon. Yo, I had no idea. This guy is like a freaking gem. He is a gem. And he is based. He knows. Tell me how. All these influencers, all the testimony the other day. And he was the only one that I saw talking about Arthur Shapiro and that case with Les Wexner. So shout out to Tim Dillon. Yo, for real. Love this guy. I didn't have time. I'm not going to lie, yo. I threw my back out shoveling. I'm on the East Coast, and I got so much snow, and I messed up my back shoveling. So the hours that I would have been organizing my clips for tonight's live, I was sleeping. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, I don't care. I have to sleep this off. I was in so much pain. If you look now, I've got like a million lidocaine patches on me. I took all the Tylenol in the world. I don't take painkillers anymore. I used to have a big problem with this because I've had multiple back surgeries. Like, I'm all screwed up. But I've been having a rough day. So I wasn't able to get my clips together, but I did find this. Since we're talking about Kash Patel anyway.
My other new best friend, not my new white black guy who I love, but my other new best friend is my Indian friend, Kash Patel. And I love Kash Patel, number one, because of his character, but number two, because of his commitment to justice. Dan
He can't even keep a straight face.
And Kash Patel, it's from the great Shadows of Ezra account here. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have decided to have a they're doing a podcast because Dan Bongino left the FBI and is now doing a podcast again. And Kash Patel is back on his podcast. And here we go. Let's just let it speak for itself. I don't know if you can even set this up. Dan Bongino, Kash Patel.
I want to pause it quick in case they try to use this as an excuse for the copyright. The copyright strikes. No, not even strike. Just like cut the stream. It's like, oh, you were covering something else. It doesn't matter that every other streamer on the planet was covering the Tucker Carlson, Mike Huckabee thing. You're brand new. We're not making any money off you. You know a little too much, so we're just gonna pull the plug on your stream. That was exactly what happened to me the other day. They said it was a copyright thing. They put it on the screen. It was a copyright thing. And then I emailed them and they said they made a mistake. And it's like, what do you mean you made a mistake? It's like, oh, well, the AI is a little sensitive about Tucker Carlson right now. It's like, you don't say. Yeah, I wonder why. And then I can't get through with anybody on Google, on actual YouTube. They got me talking to these AI bots. So I'm going back and forth between the YouTube AI bot and the Google AI bot. And the Google AI, Gemini, was like the straightest with me. It was like, listen, just don't cover Tucker, and you'll probably be fine. Like, thanks, Google. Yeah, it's such a joke. It's such a joke. All right, let's get back to it. Oh, Discord? Nah, you know what? Because I don't have a following. I don't want my own Discord. You know what I want you guys to do? Help me invade everyone else's Discord. Webb, Baron, whoever has a Discord, just start dropping Bays' based, because we gotta get this party popping. I have 41 watchers. Like, what the hell is going on? How is that even possible? Especially when I've had Baron shout me out. Nate plays my clips all the time. Valhalla VFT, shout out to him. Ian's been shouting me out for months. I got, I'm not even gonna drop any names of the people, but one of my, and if you can't tell, I'm not a Hollywood person. I could totally care less about Hollywood. But I have a very short list of actors in Hollywood that I actually am a really big fan of, that have, for different reasons from their work and their private life, have been inspirations. And I'm not going to drop any names, but someone on my top 5 was liking my stuff the other day, and it made my day. It made my day. I'm not going to lie. I'm not putting it out there on anybody, because I'm but anyway, let's just keep going.
Patel, friends of the show, here describing how difficult it is to cover up a pedophile ring. Let's go.
Everything's a level 10 decision, Cash. A level 10 meaning there's a pardon the language, but a shitty decision and a shittier one. Because if there was a good decision to be made, someone else made it. And then when those decisions, that's every day. I know you know this, because I would knock on your door and you'd be like, what now? And I'd be like, here we go again. Like, something else will come up. But I just want to put into perspective for folks out there, when that decision can't even be made by me, it goes to you. When it doesn't go to you, it goes like to the president's desk. He's dealing with like level 11 decisions. And that's the thing in DC, is that's why the batting average isn't always going to be 1,000.
I can't even listen to this. It's not even worth risking them pulling the plug, because they're just so full of shit. Yo, Matt, I see you. I got something coming for you this week. Don't worry. Have a great night. But yeah, it's crazy. These people are so full of crap. Yo, I wonder. Nah, I'm not gonna play my own clips. Have you guys seen my rant on Dan Bongino on Instagram? that one got popular. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say before. So when I see the types of people that are liking my content on Instagram, and I see that my stuff is getting out there, I know that my words are resonating with people. But I definitely feel like I'm being suppressed. Because the only people that disagree with me these days are the bad guys. Yo, for real. For real. And I know sometimes I curse, sometimes I have a foul mouth, like I sometimes I make fun of certain women, which I am all about. Like, listen, I am a gentleman. I am that guy that holds the door for everybody at the grocery store. In real life, I really am. But I also call it like I see it. And, with Erica Kirk, I gave her the benefit of the doubt with being the grieving widow, despite the fact that I saw through her bullshit day one. And it was very hard for me, because originally I was like telling people in my family, like, hey, I don't really know. I don't really think she's sincere. And everybody was like mortified that like I was going too far. And I know I've told the story a couple times, but I was going to talk about some of the jokes that I make, people that I think may or may not have been at a couple of Eyes Wide Shut parties in their day, if you know what I'm saying. But other than that, I don't think I really say anything that's that offensive or that controversial. I think that I'm pretty mild. I'm even trying to curse less. I'm trying not to use, like, every now and then I just go off the hinges and just say whatever. But I'm trying to have more self-control and not do that. So it's like, I don't know what the problem is. Maybe I just suck. Maybe I'm just not as good as I think I am. And I'm just like very, very niche. I've got a couple hundred people that actually like my content. And, I'm lucky that I get 40 of them in the same place. at the same time, and that's just what it's gonna be. It is what it is. I'm not gonna live, the most lavish lifestyle. I might have to get a regular day job, but I'm okay with that because I would rather live that type of life than be one of these 7K shells. Like, I would never want to be one of these scumbags. I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live with myself. You know, like these people that just go with the narratives, that just feed the machine with the culture wars, the left versus right, all this bullshit WWE stuff that I keep talking about. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because we are Americans, okay? The siblings need to unite to take down the step parents. That's the only way it's going to work. It's the only you can't have a divided house. You can't. How is the family gonna get rid of the step parents when they're fighting all the time? We can't do it. We can't do it. All right, I've been going on a rant. I even saw a couple supers. That was very nice of you guys. I gotta learn how to. I'm also not the most tech savvy people. People. Yeah, I'm plural. I'm one of them. I'm a they. No, I'm kidding. KV, thank you for the super. Oh, what's this name? How do I gotta go somewhere else to see this. The other one. Dude, keep going. We are for you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh, what'd I do? How'd I get locked? Yo, I gotta learn to get better with stuff. All right, what are you guys saying? I've been going on a rant for a while now. How are you guys doing tonight? New Yorker type humor rocks? Yes, I am from New York. I guess that one was never going to stay a secret for long, I guess. Duke, didn't I get back to your Discord DM? I thought I did. I think you told me about your tech guy. I'm glad you found this channel too. Thank you. Cassidy, you're my people. One of my day ones. All right, so what do you guys want to do? Yo, how long was I going? Yo, I don't even write any scripts. I feel bad. I feel like I'm cheaping out on you guys. I gotta, what's today? Monday? One day this week, I'm gonna do a real deep dive. I'm gonna have a real episode where there's a topic and I'm gonna try to teach you guys something and I'm gonna do a monologue, the whole shebang. And I'll make sure you guys know in advance which one it's going to be. Because I like doing episodes like this where I just speak my mind and hang out, but I've been doing that too much. I do have a lot of information that I want to share, and I also want you guys to, actually, let me bring this up. I didn't get back to people on it yet, but, oh, no, not that one. That was the membership I was going to promote until YouTube started its bullshit. Now I don't know. So this is going to be the free membership. Now listen, if you want to do the YouTube paid membership, that would be really cool because I do got to find a couple of ways to monetize. But I am doing a free membership, which is, the term would be direct to consumer, except I'm not really selling anything for you guys to consume. And after all the stuff that's come out in the files, I don't even like the word consume anymore. I think that it's gross. But I want to have my own group of people. I know Discord and all that is good, but I want to have a direct line. So if I do end up going on another platform, if I get taken off of this one, if I start my own website, which I might even talk to Danks about doing, about setting up my own channel type deal. But anybody who is enjoying my content, who wants to keep getting my content and wants to keep up and be up to date on everything and promotions and also just have a line of connection with me, email me, realbaysteam@gmail.com, and you give me whatever information you are comfortable with. As far as social accounts go, I'm on Facebook. Actually, let me find this one here. Where's the one? Yeah, I'll put this up here too. My Instagram is popping. My Instagram, I get a lot of attention on. Instagram, it's RealBayes, And then I use my real name on Facebook, Jimmy Gallagher. So any of these 3 ways, you guys can link up with me. And you can do all the above. This way we keep in touch. So if YouTube pulls the plug and I say, you know what, screw YouTube, I'm going to go somewhere else, I know I have a way to reach you guys. And also, I want to get my own little database going too, because I want to start doing something live. I think that would be really cool. I was always camera shy and stage shy, growing up, and I don't think I am anymore. So I think it would be really cool as my channel grows, my membership grows, if I have an idea of where you guys are, and then I could try to plan something like a little tour, it would probably be in the tri-state area for now, but I would go by where I know everybody is. All right, so let's check the chat. What's everybody doing? Freestyling even better? Yeah, y'all, I've always been like that. I'm not on there. Actually, I am on there. I just haven't, like I said, I'm not tech savvy, like the dual streaming thing. I gotta talk to Danks. But yeah, guys, do me a favor. If you haven't liked the video already, actually, you probably have, because I have more likes than viewers. Yo, they do not want my stuff out at all. At all. Usually I watch Baron, I watch some of these guys, and they're like, hit the like. Like, I've got 20,000 people. There's only 3,000 like. What's going on? Me, I got 44 likes and 38 watch it. But I appreciate you all. It's cool though, because I can read all the comments and respond. You guys don't even have to send me supers. No, I'm not shy anymore. You know what it is? You have a couple of near-death experiences. You have enough people that you love more than yourself pass away, and like eventually, it's like, I don't want to say you just don't care anymore, but I think it's actually the opposite. I think you just hit a point where you realize how short life really is, and like, what the hell is there to be shy about? What the hell is there to be self-conscious about? Who in this world matters so much that I need to have a reason to bite my tongue and not be myself? You know what I mean? Like, get out of here. There's nobody on the planet. Like, obviously, I don't want to offend people, but I don't really even have a lot of thoughts go through my head that would offend people. I do from time to time, but I don't think it's that bad. And a lot of that might have to do with Jesus. I don't know. Yo, my foot's falling asleep. That's one of the problems. Like, me having a bad back, I cannot just like sit in a chair like on my ass. I'm always like sitting on my feet. I'm like twisting, turning different ways, trying to get comfortable. It is a nightmare. I might have to, and this is another one. I gotta cover some of his content sometime. Jim Brewer, you guys watch him? Comedian. He's in. If you were a '90s or 2000s kid, you watched Half Baked back in the day. He was in that with Dave Chappelle. Yo, Jim Brewer is the man. He was one of the first people to really unplug from the Matrix and see the world for what it is, and just realize that they're just feeding off of our energy. He's a good guy. Another one from New York. Isn't Tim Dillon from New York too? Yo, the real ones come from New York. The real ones come from New York. I believe that. Spirit having a human experience. I say that all the time. We are spiritual beings living out a physical experience. Do not worry about the things of the material world. It does not matter. I promise you, it does not matter. We are only here for a blink. Our souls are going to go on as long as we keep them. Me, personally, I want to store my riches in heaven, and I want to try to save as many souls so I have as many friends when I get to heaven as possible. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. Cass, oh yeah, Jim Brewer. Yo, he's definitely up there on my list. I feel you, Scott. Seriously, y'all could help make each other a ton of money, but with honor. You know what? Like, yeah, obviously money's good, especially when you have a family and you have kids and all that that you got to take care of. But for me, it's really just about the energy. It's about the energy. Just connecting with people, teaching people, learning from people, and just making the best out of this evil, evil world. You know, just think about how blessed we are. Even just to have this community. You know, like that's why I'm not going to beat myself up that I'm not getting a lot of views and you know, because right now if there's 34 people in this chat, that's 34 people that I didn't know and didn't have in my life a month ago or 2 months ago. You know, people that are like minded that also see how screwed up the world is and want to make a difference or want to support people that make a difference. And I think that says something. I think that matters. And I think that as enough people start to wake up, that there is going to be a natural growth and people are going to start to unite and learn from each other. And I think it would be awesome. Can you imagine a tour? Can you imagine a tour where it was like a big comedy show and you had like Tim Dillon and Jim Brewer and Dave Smith? You know what I mean? Get Dave Chappelle if you're really lucky. Like, that would be insane. That would be insanity. Insanity. Get Rogan up there. That would be awesome. You know, I would love to see that. I wouldn't even, I mean, I wouldn't belong on that stage. I'd be a pig in shit. I'd probably have more fun in the crowd with you guys than trying to get on stage. Because I'm not a comedian. What am I going to do? I'm just going to get up there and just go on one of my rants. Yeah, you know, it might be entertaining, but it's not going to be funny. I'd probably bomb. Ba-ba-ba. Yeah, you know, being nice and caring, it is human. It is. But yo, there's something else I want to watch. I shout out to Danks. I want to cover some of Dank's stuff. This guy has been showing me so much love lately, and he's been personally reaching out to me, calling me, trying to help my channel grow and everything. Like, yo, he is a good dude, and he is another one. He is a real one. He cares. He wants to make the world a better place. He also recently found Jesus. Well, I don't know if it was recent, but I had a conversation with him about it, and I don't know if it was recent, but he had a bit of an epiphany. But let's watch some of his stuff real quick.
I think I have the file number, which I can look up after. I keep trying to switch back and forth, but my links are broken for some reason. I do have, actually, I'll show you the X post that shows. This will be perfect, actually. Let me show you my post right here. So this one shows, this is a FARA document here. Let me, can I open image in new tab? Okay, so this is a FARA document. You can see right here. FARA registration, short form registration statement pursuant to Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938. Pam Bondi, okay, right here. Registration number 6415.
He's bringing the receipts.
1965. And it was in the name of Ballard Partners. And these are 3 people that are in office today. High-powered positions. List every foreign principal to whom you will render services in support of the primary registrant. This one, Embassy of the State of Qatar. Now, I did find out that the income, even though it was not disclosed because of I don't know if it's a loophole or however they filled it out, but they were receiving $115,000 per month from Qatar. But she was working on behalf of Qatar, the Dominican Republic.
See, these people, they're all mercenaries. They're all bounty hunters. They're all out for themselves. All out for themselves. It's like, it's just crazy. Like, you cannot put money first. You cannot put money before God. You cannot put money before family. And you cannot put money before your country. And our entire government is filled with people that are just so quick to sell us out just to make a couple of bucks. Well, more than a couple of bucks, but it's disgraceful. Let's keep going.
Zimbabwe, Kosovo. Now, again, receiving $115,000 a month for Qatar, Bondi was listed as key personnel. She's listed as key personnel for this position on behalf of Ballard Partners, meaning that the FARA state filings or the FARA filing states that she would be, and I'm quoting here, federal documentation, personally and substantially engaged in this deal, in the work. The scope is related to government's relations strategic advice and consulting and advocacy services regarding matters involving anti-human traffic lights in the lead up to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So the woman who championed anti-traffics working in Florida was being paid $115,000 a month through her organization, or her company was being paid $115K a month to help Qatar, a country with significant international criticism around its human rights.
You know, it's just, yo, he does really good work. He is digging deep. He is digging deep, and he knows how to make websites. I'm really happy that I found Danks. I'm happy for the person that he is, and I think that he is going to have a lot of success. He is another one that is on a mission, and he wants to change the world, and I think he's going to do it. Let's see, where do we go? Jason is in the house. All right, guys. Let me see. What else? I also wanted to go over some stuff on X. But yeah, I still can't get over this. It's like, what the hell? Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat too. Oh, here we go. We got the video. Yo, this is such a joke. Look at him. Look at him. Yo, could you imagine? And you know, again, like, I'm happy for the players. Like, if you're in the, if you grow up playing hockey, you're an American and you play hockey. Like, this is what is all about. You know, it's just a shame that with everything going on in the world, it's like, you know, there's got to be priorities. And I feel like him being there just totally takes away from their moment. Oh, which clip is this?
Is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
See, it's crazy. Like, this guy, he's over here doing this, right? He's over there doing this. Like, but meanwhile, you look at this. This is perjury. This is proof of perjury. He shouldn't be sitting here with Team USA pounding beers with a medal on him. Like, yeah. He should be in fucking jail. He should be in jail. Or at the very least, he shouldn't have his position. Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? You know, it's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. You look at everything that was in those files, you know, and they're still withholding. They were supposed to release it all. And you know what else is really crazy? I got to catch up. I got to do some homework because now I'm hearing that a lot of the files from around the early 2000s are not being released. and they don't plan on releasing them. Why is that? What was going on? What happened in the very early 2000s that might be in those files that they wouldn't want to release? That's worse than everything that they did release already. Any thoughts? Anybody have any ideas? Like, what could be worse than a former president abusing and allegedly consuming an 8-year-old boy? Like, you would think that that would be it, that would be like the worst of the worst. But no, there's something in those files from the early 2000s that's worse than that. And that Kash Patel didn't think was worth prosecuting or investigating or anything. I don't know. Yo, everything here is Kash Patel. Yo, which one is this? We got another Tim Dillon clip. Wait, is this the
But
same
once
one?
you look outside of the cauldron of Washington, D.C., and this is one of the things that, I'm trying to remind myself of every day. Outside of here, there is a different America than the one that lives in the national capital region. And I try to remind myself every day when making those difficult decisions that you talked about that we make on a daily basis.
Just stop it for a minute. What the fuck are these people talking about?
Yeah, I love this guy.
What
He's right.
in God's name are these two people talking about? Can anyone even venture a guess at this point? They make Les Wexner look like an open book. What are these two ghouls talking about?
Ghouls. And they do make Les Wexner look like an open book, you know? And it's crazy too, because guys, remember, this is the most transparent administration ever. Ever. They even said so. The most transparent administration of all time. Promises made, promises kept. Right? Right? Isn't that what it is? I don't know, man. To me, all this drain the swamp crap that they were talking about is they took out a couple of alligators and they just dropped in a load of crocodiles. Maybe it's just me, though. But that's how I see this. That's how I've been seeing this.
What in the fuck are they talking about? Resources, decisions. Outside of D.C., there's people that live outside of D.C.? Yeah. That's what he learned? 2 years running, a year running the FBI, he learned that people live outside of the state of Virginia? This is what he learned? Did he learn that there's a population outside of the District of Columbia? That's all he learned. I mean, this is like the craziest thing I've ever heard. I realized that there were people that live outside of the capital city. Yeah, actually, this is going to shock him. Most people. And they also hate him.
Yeah, this guy, he really is so funny. His comedic timing and the fact, like, Tim Dillon's real gift is that he can give us real, solid, informative information about anything, including the worst information in the world, and he can still make us laugh while he's doing it. This guy is a gift from God. Seriously. Like, there's nobody like him. I can't believe I just started watching him recently. Wait, what is this? When is this from? 3 hours ago? Who said... Is this true?
You replied, according to the transcript, there is no credible information that he traveled.
Oh, I don't want to play the music. Oh, I think I saw this. Let's see. He's going to drop some names. How long is this? All right, it's only 56 seconds. He's gonna drop names. Let's see. Wait, at least is he gonna like just keep talking about it, or is he gonna just say the names? I thought it's dropping names. He's talking about titles. There was a banker. There was an athlete. There was a producer. There was a rock star. Like, no shit. We know this. Yo. Sorry, guys. That was kind of a letdown. Yo, why is my whole X feed just this crap? Yo, my bad. Next time I go live, I'm gonna make sure that I do the research and I have more ready. Ooh, web. Should we do web? I haven't been on here in a little bit. Have you guys been using web? Let's start a new chat. Hold on. How am I gonna do this here? What do you guys think we should ask Web? Not Duke, you haven't used Web yet? What are you guys talking about? Yes, ask me anything you want. Too dark for your light soul? Oh, I thought somebody was going to ask me something. All right. Here, since I always talk about probabilities, Thomas Massey said there was 20 names. How many? All right, so I said based on the data in the files. I'm not going to ask for names because I feel like that might get me in trouble. But I'm just going to ask for how many of his associates likely did things they shouldn't have done with children. Oh, you like the stepchildren analogy? Yeah, that one, I swear, that one came off the top of the head. I don't know where that came from, but I'm definitely gonna use that. You're gonna start hearing me say that from now on, because we are. Well, actually, no, we're the children. They are the step parents. All right, let's see. You guys see this on the thing? Let me blow it up for you, because I'm not gonna actually start pulling up files. Let's see. Based on the data in the files, use Bayesian theorem to give me the probability how many of his associates likely with children. Let's see. Do I think Vance will release it? Hell no. Listen, you got to understand. Him and Peter Thiel are like this. Okay? He's not on the right side. In my opinion. I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, so let's see. it says, I'll investigate the documents to gather evidence of associates and get their involvement in abuse, then apply Bayesian reasoning to estimate probabilities. Let me start by exploring the key entities and patterns in the data set. Now let me search for information about associates and their involvement in the patterns. Let me research for specific information about associates and their roles. Now let me search for information about specific named associates. All right, remember, I did not ask for names. I did not ask for names. You guys are my witnesses, okay? I asked for numbers. I'm not asking for names. So if I get names, it's not my fault. All right, let me get one more piece of evidence about the scope of the network. Based on my investigation, all right, here we go. Based on my investigation of the documents, I can now apply Bayesian reasoning to estimate the probability of how many of his associates, likely children. Let me analyze the evidence and provide a structured probability assessment. Bayesian analysis of associate involvement in abuse. Evidence based from documents. The documents reveal several key data points. Victim count. FBI compiled reports on 34 confirmed minors eligible for restitution, increased to 40 in the non-prosecution agreement. Investigative reporting identified about 80 victims and located 60 of them. What happened to the other 20? Why couldn't they locate the other 20 victims? So they're saying that there was 80 victims underage based on the non-prosecution agreement. That means that goes back to his case in like 2005, 2006. Like, we're not even talking about the 10 years after that. If my interpretation of this is correct. Recruitment structure, okay? Primary recruiters were young girls, including his victims, who were paid to bring in new ones. Some victims became prolific recruiters, bringing dozens of others. Associate network. The documents describe an enterprise, an illicit association, defendants and his associates who knowingly facilitated, participated in, and concealed illegal conduct. Specific name associates involved in it. Oh, shoot! Guys, it's not my fault. I did not ask for this, okay? I did not ask for this. I'm not going to read any names. I did not want names. I'll just read what it says about them. Convicted trafficking directly involved in recruiting. MC2 modeling agency supplied primary scheduler in New York. Multiple assistants. Florida responsible for scheduling and payment. Allegations against others. Virginia Giuffre's testimony claims that she was trafficked to Prince Andrew, Jean-Luc Brunel, Glenn Dubin, Marvin Minsky, Governor Bill Richardson, and another unnamed prince, an unnamed foreign president, a well-known prime minister, and an unnamed hotel chain owner from France. Bayesian probability framework. Prior probability before evidence. Given conviction for trafficking of minors and the scale of his operation, we start with high prior probability that multiple associates were involved. Evidence likelihood. Direct evidence. Conviction provides certainty for at least one associate. Documented roles, schedulers, recruiters, and assistants with documented involvement in facilitating abuse. Victim testimony. Multiple victims describing being trafficked to other men. Enterprise structure. Documents describe a network of companies and individuals who participated and conspired with him. And guys, you see all these little red things here? These are all links to the files that it's referencing. Yo, tell me how I just loaded. You know what? Let me finish reading first. Probability estimates. Based on the evidence, I can provide with Bayesian probability estimates. At least one associate abused. 99.9%. Remember, when you're talking about science and math, it's really never going to be a 0 and it's never going to be 100. You're going to get 0. And 99.99. Just so you know. The conviction provides near certainty. At least 3, okay, this is where it gets good. At least 3 to 5 associates did abusing themselves. It's saying an 85 to 90% probability. Evidence, Maxwell convicted. Brunel, modeling agency connection, multiple assistants with direct scheduling payment roles, supporting victim testimony about being trafficked to multiple men. Now, 6 to 10 associates abused. It's saying 60 to 70%. That means that there is a 60 to 70% probability that at least 6 to 10 associates were also guilty. Now, is this or is this not evidence? Kash Patel. How is it that Ian and his team at Webb, they made this software with the same files that they've been sitting on, and they only have half of them, not even. They have a fraction of the files. And the whole government, the CIA, the FBI, whoever else, all these scumbags, they couldn't find any evidence to prosecute one person. Yet, I put in one prompt on this, and it's telling me that the probability is that there's over a dozen. All right, more than 10 associates abused little ones. 40 to 50%. Evidence. The enterprise described as a network of multiple defendants and others. Oh, there's a link. Consideration. Scale of operation. 40 plus confirmed victims. 80 plus identified. Suggests a broader network. Less than 3 associates. Okay, so less than 3 associates, it says 5 to 10%. So, okay, so now it's saying that there's about a 5 to 10% chance that it was under 3. That it was less than 3 of his associates, not him himself, talking about associates. A 5 to 10% chance that it's less than 3. I don't know. Those odds are not. How could Kash Patel get in front of Congress and swear under oath that there was no evidence, no credible evidence? This would require Maxwell to be the only associate directly involved, which contradicts victim testimony and documented roles of other assistants and schedulers. Key Bayesian factor increasing probability. Consistency of victim accounts. Multiple victims describe similar patterns of being trafficked to others. Operational scale with 40 to 80 victims over years. The logistical requirements suggest multiple facilitators. Documented roles, schedulers, recruiters, victims paid to bring new girls, assistants with payment responsibilities, enterprise language. Legal documents, repeated described association in fact with multiple defendants. Limitations and uncertainties, redacted names. Many documents have redacted names of assistants and associates. Unproven allegations. Some named individuals in depositions have not been charged. Definition of abuse includes direct abuse, facilitation, recruitment, conspiracy. Most likely scenario. The Bayesian analysis weighted by the evidence suggests 5 to 8 associates were likely directly involved with the abuse, with a higher number, 10 to 15 plus, involved in the facilitation conspiracy. The probability distribution peaks around 6 associates, given Maxwell was convicted, Brunel modeling agency connection, 2 to 3 assistant schedulers with documented roles, 2 to 3 additional individuals with victim testimony. Probability confidence, medium to high, 70 to 80% for this range, based on convergence of victim testimony, operational requirements, and legal description of Epstein's enterprise. Now it's saying what to do next. Should we dig deeper? Victim testimony mentions, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep it simple. What is the probability current FBI to charge what is the probability that the current FBI director did not have any credible evidence to charge an associate with a crime related to the trafficking? let's see what it says. All right, chat. Sorry. I'm just like sitting here reading this, but it's searching. Oh, by the way, using this, I have probabilities where I have estimates on some of those redacted names, and I already sent them to the guys at Web. And hopefully they're using it for Ian to do his own investigation and go a little wider, dig a little deeper, and make Web more efficient. And I've been trying to get Barron and Ian to use this probability type work for probability models for their own investigative journalism and whatnot. But they haven't done it yet. To my knowledge, they haven't done it yet. All right, let's see. Based on my investigation of the documents, I can now provide a Bayesian analysis of the probability that the current FBI director... Oh, no. Hold on. I think it got a little confused. I think it thinks that the FBI director is the one that's in the files. So let me just give that adjustment and say as of the year. Yes, Web is how me and Danks connected. We were on Ian's panel last week when they did a Discord thing explaining Web. And then while we were on the live stream, somebody hacked into Web, and then they had to go and sort that out. And then me and Danks kept talking, and we exchanged information, and we've been talking a lot since. Duke, I don't want to start searching things with names on a public stream. I would prefer, especially if it's something new and I don't know what's going to come up, I will do that off stream. And if there's something there, I will make a video. And I don't know if you've emailed me yet, but email the RealBayes team at Gmail, and I'll send you a notification and give you the update regardless. All right, now let's see. Now it's talking about how it's going to search, looking for documents. Okay, so based on my investigation of the documents, I can now provide a Bayesian analysis of the probability that FBI Director Kash Patel, as of 2026, did not have any credible evidence to charge an associate with the crime related to the trafficking. The Bayesian analysis, probability FBI Director Kash Patel lacked credible evidence to charge associates. Critical evidence from documents. Now it's referencing all the documents. All right, FBI public statement. The FBI announced that it had no evidence linking alleged trafficking ring to numerous high-profile associates. This is direct public statement. Confirmation hearing. Patel committed to Senate Marsha Blackburn that he would do everything to reveal the full weight of what happened. Testimony. When pressed about trafficking victims and others, he clarified, "Let me make something crystal clear. I never said didn't traffic other people, other women, and there are no other victims. This is the investigation we were given from 06, 07, 08, and the search warrants from 06, 07, 08. That's what we're working with." Okay, so in his hearing, in his statement, he's basically admitting that when he says that there's no evidence, that it's because of the evidence that he was allowed to look at. So the same way that I feel like I'm being suppressed by, YouTube and these other platforms because of me trying to put out the truth, he's basically telling us that he was suppressed, that they clipped his balls. Like that's what he's saying without saying it. He's like, listen, they clipped my balls. They didn't let me sit at the big boy table and look at the real files, because then I might have to get kirked if I actually tried to prosecute somebody. Like, that's what I get out of that. That they're just like, listen, Kash, it's better you just sit over there at the kid table. You don't want to see this, because if you see this and you try to do something, we're gonna send you to Valhalla. Right? Is that a fair assessment? Am I wrong for saying that? Like, that could be possible. But if that's the case, hold on, where is it? If that's the case and he got his balls clipped, right? Wait, can you see? Oh, no. I'm like messing everything up. I told you guys, I am not technically savvy. What happened? What, am I in the wrong one? Whatever. I'll pull it up later. I was going to pull him up celebrating again, pounding down the beer with Team USA. But if Kash got his balls clipped and they don't want him to see the goods, then what is he celebrating about? Why is he celebrating? You don't think that he had any to begin with? You might be right. A compilation? Oh, Spy Girl. I am working on a big compilation of those types of coincidences. And some of the names on my list, you've probably never even heard of. I just don't know how and when I'm going to release it. That's part of what I've already given to people. That's my in case something happens to me file. If something happens to me, I've got a whole probability of about 100 names and who they're linked to. So hopefully that helps protect me, but we'll see. All right, so his testimony, we already said this. Trafficking, he clarified. Let me make something crystal clear. All right, so evidence quality statement. Patel stated, "We are also not in the habit of releasing incredible information. That's not what we do. But multiple authorities have looked at the entirety of what we have." Yeah, exactly. My trigger. Contradictory evidence from earlier investigation. Earlier documents show the FBI had substantial evidence, including victim statements, physical evidence from trash pulls and mansion searches, and documentary evidence for associates. You guys can read these names. I don't want to keep reading names out loud. Oh, actually, this I can, because they were granted immunity. Sarah Kellen, Leslie Groff, Adriana Ross, and Nadia Marcinikova were granted immunity in 2007. Why were they granted immunity? And who granted them immunity? Isn't that a good question? Isn't that something that you guys would want to know? Because usually when somebody gives immunity, it's because they're giving information to a bigger case or somebody higher up. Okay? But J.E., he was pretty high up. He was working directly for the people at the top. So it is literally impossible that these individuals were actually contributing to a bigger case because they were a part of the big case. You understand? So this immunity shouldn't even be legal. They basically gave them a get out of jail free card for being connected to some of the most heinous crimes you can imagine. And for what? For the greater good? How is it for the greater good? Who did they give up? What criminal bigger than J.E. and the people that he was directly working for did they give up to justify this immunity that they got? All right, now let's get to the probabilities. Bayesian probability framework, prior probability, before evidence, given the scale of the operation, 40 plus victims, Maxwell conviction. All right, we don't have to read the same things over and over again. Let's get to the good stuff. All right, probability that he had no credible evidence against anyone associated, 15 to 20%. The public statements is explicit but contradicts historical evidence. Key factor, he may be referring to new evidence or evidence meeting charges stand. Probability that he has some credible evidence but not enough to charge, 40-50%. Probability that he had credible evidence but faced legal evidentiary barriers, 25 to 35%. And I got to be honest, I think that these probabilities are a little high. Like, this is favoring Kash. And if what this tells me is that nobody could say that Ian and his team made a bias. So, like, this is very, very favorable to Kash. So it's being objective. I think that Webb is objective because I think that these probabilities are a little bit off. I think that also you have to take into consideration, which is what I'll ask next, is that this doesn't have all the files. You got to remember, it's saying that there's a 10 to 20% chance that Kash is telling the truth, that he didn't have enough evidence, but we only have a fraction of the evidence that he saw. Probability Kash had credible evidence but chose not to charge for political reasons. 10 to 15%. Backlash from Trump supporters suggests political pressure. Context, he was appointed by Trump and faces political considerations. Key Bayesian factors. Factors increasing probability. Most likely scenario. The Bayesian analysis weighted by evidence suggests Patel likely had some credible evidence, 80 to 85% probability, but faced significant barriers, saying evidence quality thresholds, legal barriers, political strategic considerations, genuine lack of evidence. So it's saying that Kash probably had the evidence to prosecute, but he had a lot of obstacles that would have kept it from being successful. But of all these obstacles, the lack of evidence, in all likelihood, in all probability, was not the issue. It was the politics involved. It was the swamp. The swamp was too thick and too muddy for anything to get done. Because I believe Pam Bondi said it herself. If they were to prosecute everybody that was guilty of something in those files, that it would take the whole system down. Think about that. You have the most heinous crimes. Think about that chair and how many kids had their teeth removed. Had their teeth removed so that they wouldn't bite. And who they wouldn't bite. And what they were doing that would make them want to bite. And so that after they were done with them, that they wouldn't be identified. They wouldn't be identifiable. And that there are so many people in our system, in our government, that are connected to this and guilty in some way, compromised in some way, whether directly or indirectly or financially, that it would take our entire system down. So, what matters right now? Did the Super Bowl matter? Do the Olympics matter? You know, baseball season's going to start now soon. Does that matter? What matters right now? What matters to you? What matters to you? You know what does matter to me, aside from this, is what's going on in Mexico, is what's going on in Iran, what's going on in other regions that I'm not even allowed to talk about on here because YouTube says that's a no-fly zone. There are lives being lost every single day. There are children being hurt every single day. And here in America, we, the citizens of America, despite the fact that we're all turned into debt slaves, despite the fact that the evil stepmom is running the house and making all of our lives a living hell, we still have it better than a lot of the people in this world. And it disgusts me, the percentage of people that want to keep their heads in the sand. and don't even want to speak up about this. It really does. It hurts my soul. And, even if I suck at my new job here and I'm not entertaining enough, I'm not credible enough, whatever the case is, that I can't get more than 50 people on a live stream, in my heart, I know that I'm doing the right thing, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I appreciate every single one of you that is here with me tonight. No, the distractions will not work, and I will not stop. I will not stop. And you know what? I'm not going to stop right now. That would have sounded like a pretty good closing speech, right? What do you guys think? If I was going to end the show right now, that would have been a good little closing segment. But no. I mean, my back is killing me, but I want to keep going. You DM me some more stuff? All right, cool. I don't trust the platforms either. I think they're all out to get me. But are you guys ready? I don't just mean ready for tonight. I mean just ready in general. The world is going to change. We are going to change the world. We all have a role to play. I am going to keep trucking. Nobody is ever going to stop me. All right, but let's keep going. Critical contradiction and interpretation. The documents reveal a semantic distinction that affects probability calculations. What no evidence might mean. All right, now it's getting all technical. All right, I'm going to ask it another question. I'm going to tell it to factor something else into the equation. I'm telling Webb to factor in the fact that it has at most half of the files that Kash Patel had access to in the database, and that he was able to see them without the redactions, and to rerun the probabilities. Let's see what Webb has to say to that. Mind you, we're only on prompt 3. The guys at Webb said that you can only really use 5 prompts, and then it starts crashing out. So I got to be very careful and use my prompts wisely. You've raised a critical point that significantly changes the Bayesian analysis. And now you got to understand what Bayes is. It's every decision, every statement, every factor is a factor in the equation. And every time you add something else, it changes everything. And you have to rerun everything. So now, before it was giving me those probabilities based on the information that it had. But it wasn't taking into consideration the fact that Kash Patel had a much bigger database. And he got to see it without the redactions. So all of a sudden, Webb's like, you know what? You're right. He's seeing a lot more. I'm judging him based on what I see. But now that I know that he saw a hell of a lot more than I could see, I got to take a second look at this. So you've raised a critical point that significantly changes the Bayesian analysis. Let me factor in that Kash Patel had access to twice as many files as I have in the database, unredacted versions of all documents, complete investigative files, including classified materials. Let me rerun the Bayesian analysis with this new information. That's a good idea, Webb. Revised Bayesian analysis. Probability. Kash Patel lacked credible evidence with full access. Key assumptions based on information advantage. Patel's information advantage. Volume. 2x more documents in his database. Quality. No redactions. Complete context. Scope. Classified materials. Internal communications. Raw evidence. Timelines. Most current investigative files. What additional information Patel likely had. Internal FBI assessments of evidence credibility. classified intelligence on associates, unredacted victim statements naming associates, complete financial records and communications, legal opinions on charging viability, political pressure documentation, revised probability estimates, prior probability adjustment. Given Patel superior information access, if he concluded no evidence linking to high-profile associates, my probability estimates must shift significantly towards this conclusion. Bayesian update formula. My original analysis based on 50% of files with redactions. Patel, all right, now it's just saying the same thing. Okay, revised probability estimates. Patel had no credible evidence, any associate. Reasoning. With twice the information and no redactions, if he still concluded no evidence, it's more credible. What? How would it be more credible? Probability. Patel had some credible evidence, but not enough to charge. Evidence. Even with full access, evidence might exist, but fail legal standards. Patel's incredible information comments suggest evidence quality persists. All right, now it's got to take into the consideration. All right. I feel like Webb is giving Kash a lot of credibility right now, and it's not really considering the fact that maybe he wasn't that honest. Maybe he was compromised. Let's see. Oh, Mickey D, what'd you say? Sorry, I was wrapped up on my thing. You know I try to pay attention to the chat. What'd you say? Yo, McDeath, why'd you say I was ignoring you? Yo, what did I miss in the chat? What's so funny? Say it again. I've been reading all the prompts and all the web stuff. Are you gonna make me scroll up? What'd you say? When'd you say it? I see you asking about juggalos and juggalettes. You have my attention. All right. Well, don't worry. I'm gonna pay more attention to the chat. But I'm here trying to investigate Kash Patel and find out why he was celebrating. All right. Where is this? Let me get back to this. All right. I'll investigate documents. All right. Critical evidence of potential compromise. Financial conflicts of interest. Trump Media Stock Award. Patel received $800,000 plus in restricted shares from Trump Media and Technology Group that didn't appear on his financial disclosure. Wait, what? Kash Patel got 800,000 plus in restricted shares from Trump Media? No, of course I don't hate you. Wait, hold on. I know you guys are having fun, but are you seeing this? Is anybody aware of this right here? He missed his moment. All right, ethics expert warning. It gives him a financial incentive not to take any action that would undermine the value of Trump Media. That would include investigations. Qatar Consulting worked as consultant for Qatari government without registering as a foreign agent. Potential FARA violation. What? Political pressure and loyalty to Trump. Trump appointment. Patel served as national security advisor to President Trump and was appointed FBI director by him. Committee letter. House Oversight Committee wrote to assist President Donald J. Trump's effort regarding the files. Political backlash. FBI statements about no evidence came after backlash amongst Trump supporters. Testimony inconsistencies. Vague timeline. I think in the near future, sir, when pressed about the file document release. Limited knowledge claim. It's been a while since I looked at the case, despite being FBI director. Yo, that was crazy. He said it's been a while since I looked at the case. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, I have concerns about any of these files getting released in an ethical way. I have concerns about the files even being credible. I think there might be a lot of nonsense in there too. Or that they would have muddied the waters a little bit and compromised other people in different ways to protect the ones that are really guilty. All right, Bayesian probability framework with compromise factor. Prior probability before evidence, All right, it's saying factoring in Patel's information advantage and potential compromise. So the probability that Kash Patel is compromised and lied under oath is saying it's 45 to 55%. Financial conflict, political pressure, convenient, no evidence finding. Bayesian update, original, no evidence probability, 30 to 40%. Compromise factor is 45 to 55%. The probability that Patel is compromised but told the truth is 20 to 30%. Evidence, even compromised individuals can tell truth if evidence is truly lacking. Consideration, with full access, he might genuinely find no evidence. Probability Patel is not compromised and told the truth, 15 to 25%. Well, I mean, those are much better numbers than I would have given him. Da, 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 da. Yo, I got to look into that. I didn't even know that he took 800,000 in Trump stock or stock from the media. Yo, how is that even legal? Kelly, I agree. I don't know how anyone could stay quiet knowing what they did to kids. I think that they are truly demonic. I think that the people that were doing this to kids really were devil worshippers. You know, whether it's Baal or whatever the others' names are. What is it? It's all evil. It's all demonic. None of it is good. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Here's 800K. Don't lock me up. Don't investigate. Just say no. Like Nancy Reagan. Is there credible evidence? Are we going to arrest anybody? No. Yo, the balls on this guy. The balls on this guy. And wait, if he got 800,000 in stock, why wasn't that brought up? Why didn't, like, when this is what I mean about it being WWE crap. Nobody asked him while he was under oath, questioning him, like, hey, I see here that you got $800,000 in stock from Trump Media. Is that true? Yes or no? You're under oath. Doesn't that make you compromised in some way? Like, think about it. If so many of these files are connected to Trump, who is the sitting president, and Patel is working for Trump and financially invested in Trump, how is that not like a giant conflict of interest when it comes to him working this case? You know, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then that makes it even shadier when, who was it? Was it Joe Kent is his name? The guy who worked under Tulsi Gabbard that said that he wanted to do an investigation in the Charlie Kirk case to see if there was foreign involvement. And Kash Patel said no. He shut that down. He did not allow Tulsi Gabbard's people to do an investigation to see if there was any foreign involvement with the Charlie Kirk case, despite the fact that they had his cell phone and that he said that he was going to be leaving a certain movement 48 hours before he died. And then they tried to lie about it and acted like he didn't take that position. And then Charlie Kirk is saying the day before he left us to at least two individuals that we know of, one being Andrew Colvett and the other being Dan Flood, that he thought that somebody was gonna off him. And then Erica Kirk is on the Glenn Beck show saying, no, I had his phone. If that was gonna happen, then I would have known. Actually, I'm gonna pull up that clip real quick. We'll get back to this, but I want to find that clip. Because, yo, for real, fuck Erica Kirk. Pardon my language. Where is this one?
Let me just say something.
Hold on. I'm going to look for the transcript real quick because I don't remember where this is. This is the type of homework that I would do before I start my show. And I will be much more prepared next time. But at least you guys have McD to be the comic relief while I'm trying to do this. We have confirmation that Dan Flood is still a free man. I think that in itself. All right, so it's around the 15-minute mark. Yo, I really can't stand this woman. Gotta be evil.
Without even knowing, because he knows what our mission is here. And so the Lord put in Charlie such a haste for time.
The conscious choice that I may be taken out early, not saying he knew that day, but that he had any inkling that this might come his way and that he intentionally chose to move forward with faith in God.
It's interesting because I have unbelievable amounts of death threats. My kids have kidnapping threats, death threats. Our whole team has death threats. We knew that there was always going to be a threat, but Charlie and I we promised each other we would never live in fear. And he would say, if they're going to get me, they're going to get me. But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me.
Yes, he was. We have confirmation that he was. He said that to Andrew Colvett. He said that to Dan Flood, the guy who did the signal right before. And wasn't Andrew Colvett the one that met her at the airport? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And people are more upset about Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. And they're actually watching her platform. It's like, oh, screw Bad Bunny, screw the left. Yeah, Kid Rock, Turning Point USA, yeah. Like, are you kidding me?
He didn't say that. And I have his cell
yeah.
phone. Didn't say that. And
Yo, I'm just going to play this again.
we knew that there was always going to be a threat, but Charlie, he didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
That is a very, very strong statement on the record. How is that not like the biggest red flag for everybody in America? How did she not, like think about it. If any actual civilian gets offed, your spouse is like going to be the number one suspect, especially if there's a financial incentive, especially if you have connections to people that have the capability to do what was done. And now you have this lie. Yo, Jason, thank you for becoming a supporting member. I appreciate that, buddy. But yo, this is crazy. Crazy. One more time.
there was always going to be a threat, but Charlie and I we promised each other we would never live in fear. And he would say, if they're going to get me, they're going to get me. But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone. Didn't say that. And so what I do know is that we believe in the power of prayer. And what I do know is that we believe in our sovereign God.
Goes right to prayer. Goes right to, it's like, it's crazy. All right, guys. But we've been at it for about 2 hours. And I, unfortunately, do have more shoveling to do. Oh, Scott, thank you so much for the membership. Yo, and I messed up with those members. I am going to do, because there's 2 tiers. There's supporting members and there's base members. I'm going to set up the some of the perks that are on the base. They're going to be on the supporting too. I didn't even want to do 2 tiers. It was something that YouTube had me do. I just wanted to have like one thing, whatever. I'm going to work all that out. But thank you for the memberships. Guys, thank you for taking the time with me tonight. But also, become a member here. Make sure you email me. Email me your social media stuff too, if you want. And I'm going to prioritize the people that are in that email for who I contact with directly. And I'm going to have promotions in there. I got merch that's coming very soon. And, I want to build a community, and I want to do things a little bit differently than other people do. But we're going to do it. All right, but I am going to get going. I am going to have another video for you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to go live. I might go live, but no guarantees. But if I do, I'm going to be more prepared. Remember what I always say, guys. Remember, be kind, be grateful, do something nice for somebody, and have a great night.